What really makes Michael Myers? Is it the mask? The jumpsuit? Or is it that cold piece of steel he's been carrying around since 1978? The Shape's weapons are as iconic as the man himself. But let's be honest, they're not all created equal. If you look carefully, in each progressive movie, the knife gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Don't believe me? Stick around. Welcome to Matt Does Macabre, where we investigate all things macabre. On today's episode, I want to investigate Michael Myers and his iconic kitchen knife. A slasher is only as good as their chosen weapon. Jason and the machete, Freddy and the scissor phalanges, and Michael and a simple kitchen knife. A humble offering back in 1978. A knife you would use to carve a pumpkin. Or, in his case, his sister. The Shape, as he was known in the original script, is an undefinable, pure, evil entity with the name of Michael. What makes him so unsettling is he is, on surface level, not dissimilar from anybody else. He looks like you or like me. He walks like you or like me. The biggest difference being his insatiable urge to kill.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Although if you've ever stood in a Starbucks line, it's not so unreasonable. Dr. Loomis was the first to see this evil in him, and he tried to warn everybody. Nobody would listen. The town of Haddonfield was then terrorized for decades and decades by the Shape, known as Michael Myers. Today we're going to break down an anomaly that I noticed while watching my favorite horror franchise of all time, Halloween. What started as a simple kitchen knife soon grew into something a little more supernatural. Now, before you jump into the comments, we're not covering every single knife used in every single movie. We're not going S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier. We're simply going about this in more of an observational way. And I want to see if you noticed it too. So, with that out of the way, let's go to one of the first iconic scenes of the Halloween franchise. One of Myers' first kills. By the way, this guy's supposed to be a teenager. He looks more like a 39-year-old social studies teacher at a local high school, but that's just me.
Annie? Oh? Linda, you asshole. Okay, Linda. Come on out.
If anybody makes glasses comments, I swear to God. Normal looking knife. Stab through. Pins him to the cupboard. Okay, pause. I spoke to a security friend of mine that works at the local mall, and he put a composite sketch together for me after I showed him this. I'll show you what I mean. See, it's not feasible. The knife just isn't long enough to both pin the man to the wall and support his body weight. If you don't believe me, let me bring you to my lab. Okay, here we are in the Matt Does Macabre lab, and I want to show you. So here is the knife. We can all clearly see the knife. Let's just do the outline here. There's the handle, comes down, there's the blade sticking into the gentleman here, okay? So this is the guy. It's supporting his entire body weight. The knife, as you saw, was your standard, probably 12 to 14-inch kitchen knife, right? So it would probably go in and kind of, maybe, sort of end about there, maybe a bit before. But in order to touch the wall and pin him in, I mean, we're looking about there. And then we'll come back and connect the knife. So that's what we're looking. That's what we're looking at for Michael Myers' knife. And this is what I'm talking about. Because when we look at Michael Myers' knives throughout the history of his slayings, you'll see he's used, well, a lot of them. Here is just a simple offering of knives that Michael has used over the years. Your standard, I mean, this one's huge. Maybe this one could have been used. I don't know. That knife is still pretty big. That's getting into Jason territory. I mean, here's one from Halloween Ends. That's a fairly substantial knife, but it's probably just more the angle of the photo for that one. But it's something I noticed, and I always found it hilarious that his knife seemingly grows with the evil of his own entity. And I love it because Halloween is one of those guilt-free movies for me. It's actually a comfort movie for me. Say what you will, or say what you will about my mental state if that's the case, but I love all things fall. I am an autumnophile through and through. And Halloween, just the vibe. I know it was filmed in California in the spring, but they did an amazing job of making it look and feel like a crisp autumn day and night. And the way that Michael navigates the Halloween streets and the jack-o'-lanterns and the kids playing and everything, it just brings about this sense of nostalgia within me, minus the whole killing people, of course. But that mixed in with the fact that his knife seemingly grows on command is just amazing. And one of the other things that I love about the Halloween franchise is this little scene here involving one of the worst Halloween movies in the franchise, but arguably one of the best scenes in one of the Halloween franchise. Tell me if you remember this.
So you want to be on Dangertainment? Let's see what you got.
That's by far channeling his inner Bruce Lee. Also one of the worst masks in the franchise, minus Halloween H2O. Although I will say Halloween H2O is one of my absolute favorite movies in the franchise. Listen, go back and rewatch these movies, minus Halloween 3, because although Halloween 3 is technically part of the whole universe, it doesn't have Michael Myers in there. They tangentially mention him, but it's not really about him. I will admit, though, I'm an outlier. I actually like Halloween 3 as a standalone movie. I enjoy that whole nostalgia feel as well, with the kids and the buying of the masks and the mask becoming evil. It's very Goosebumps to me, and so I love that movie on its own merit, but it's not really a Michael Myers Halloween movie. I know what they were trying to do when they were trying to build the universe, but yeah, he came back in Halloween 4, which was awesome. Halloween Resurrection, I'm not going to say it's worth the watch, because it's a terrible, terrible movie, arguably the worst in the franchise. But that scene alone with Busta Rhymes, that makes it somewhat palatable for me. And I do go back and I rewatch that movie every now and then because it's just so phenomenal. But I mean, I think Halloween kitchen knives, okay? Those things are fairly standard across the board. All right. I mean, they really are. They're fairly 12 to 14 inches, and then you go from that to, you know, to even his head's tilted to the side because he's like, what the hell? I didn't think that was gonna work. And it did work, Michael. It did. Hey, this is Matt Does Macabre. On this channel, it's mostly unscripted just because I just want to talk to you guys and enjoy the Halloween atmosphere year round. It's my favorite time of year. And now that we're into July, it's July 1st today, Canada Day, for those of you who are Canadian. For those of you who aren't, July 4th is coming up. This is basically our July 4th, but we just do it a few days earlier because, go Canada. Again, mostly unscripted, but I'm going to talk about all things macabre. We're going to look at cosplay. I'll show you some of the stuff I have here. I even, with the candle behind me here, have something really cool to show you guys that I'll show you at some point in time. But it is a really cool Halloween piece of nostalgia from one of the actual Halloween movies, a signed knife by one of the Michael Myers themselves. I'll show you that on the next episode, or maybe the episode after, so you're gonna have to stick around to find that out. But on this channel, I'm going to be covering cosplay. I'm going to be covering movie reviews. I'm going to be talking about Halloween and some of the nostalgia. Maybe we'll even go to the Spirit website and take a look at what their offerings year over year and turn that into a series as to what their best offerings are year over year. This is Matthew Does Macabre. Happy Halloween. I'll see you in the next one.